Hello everyone, good morning. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining me today. I can see so many familiar faces. Thank you so much for coming back and sharing this Photoshop time with me. Hi Hannah, hi Damien, Cecilia, Mia, Susan. I've seen Valdo here before. Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? Hi Sam, thank you so much for being here with us. Noor, how's it going guys? I hope you're doing well. It's day for challenge number 2. We started 2 days ago with a little bit of an intro, and yesterday we did some retouching in Lightroom, and today it's time to jump into Photoshop. Of course, before starting, I'm gonna guide you through on how to join the challenge. So the first thing that we have to do if you have not joined the challenge yet is, of course, to go on our super fantabulous and informative landing page. As you probably already know, you'll have to go on behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. You can see that up here. And once you get into this amazing landing page, the very first thing to do is to use this big blue button. As you can see, mine already says chat with the community. And the reason is because I already pressed the big blue button and I already took the challenge. So I'm already part of the challenge. If you have not done so, I invite you to do so, because in that way, during these 2 weeks, as you can see here from the March 2nd, that's when we started, until March 13th, you're gonna be able to have an email with a link that is gonna take you into the new child challenge. If you scroll down from our landing page, you can see that challenge number 2 has been unlocked and unveiled. Today we're gonna dig into object selection, but I'm gonna go ahead and see if there is any question in the chat. I can see you guys are still saying hello. Please let me know, where are you tuning in from? Let me see here, we have some internet login. We are already doing well on the internet. And as I said, yes, please use this landing page in order to find information about the challenge. Main things to do is to click on the big blue button and join the challenge, and then follow up with me every single day in discovering the different challenges. And if you've not done so, make sure that you click on Get Started in order to get the starter file for this exciting challenge number 2. While you do so, I'm gonna share something that I also find pretty amazing about this safe learning space, which is the community. In fact, if you click here on the community chat link, you're gonna be transported into Discord. This is an amazing space where you can connect with an international community of designer, fellow students, or professional. And I strongly recommend to get used to spend some time in here to get to know each other, to share your work, and of course into the, let's bring that back, into the channel current challenge. You can share the work of your current challenge in order to have feedback from our amazing mentor. In this case, we have Tim, sometimes we have Sam, we have many different people that are always there ready to take care of your question. Of course, feel free to give each other feedback. It's great to look at each other's work. It's always very inspiring. I learn every day something new from you guys as well. I hope that you have fun while we learn and we get our skill sharpened into Photoshop. Now, if you hopefully have already downloaded the starter file, if not, don't worry, you can just follow through the video and maybe go back another time, or you can also use your file. Today we're gonna focus on object selection, this new amazing tool that is powered by Sensei, which is Adobe Artificial Intelligence technology that we're gonna use today. And let's jump into Photoshop and open a new canvas in order to see how we get that to work. So I'm gonna press Command N to open a new file. I'm happy with this high resolution size, which is 1920 by 1080. I'm gonna name it Dreamland. I don't know if you guys were tuned in, but yesterday I already shared a little bit of a sneak peek of today's challenge, we are gonna be working into an ethereal paradise theme. So I'm gonna call this file Dreamland, because that's the mood of the day of our challenge. And I'm gonna press on create in order to open a new document. Now, before we start, I wanna go into our folder. You should have probably already downloaded the file. If not, I'm happy to share it here with you. We have a mood board. Mood boards are very useful to set a tone of our final design. And again, here, that's the ethereal paradise. So we have this dreamy, tropical, soft, warm, mystical theme with a lot of like cotton candy. Yesterday I was saying I almost imagine as if I fell into a bucket of cotton candy and everything turned like pink and blue. So those are the colors of our theme. And we're gonna create a dreamland, which is perhaps your dream location. Imagine that you have to go to holiday to a location and you can make it up completely. So instead of choosing a location that exists, we're gonna create our very own dreamland. And to get started, as you can see here, I've already created some swatches that you can use as color reference. But how do we bring this into Photoshop? We have our beautiful photo. How do we actually use that into Photoshop? Now, all we have to do is to go into our file, find the mood board, and simply click and drag it into our canvas. Photoshop is gonna give you the option and show you the different pages. Now, because we've been very organized and we already create a very neat palette, all we have to do is to select the page with the color palette and then press OK. And then I'm gonna click return in order to accept this page as a layer into our canvas. And something that I'm gonna show you is a service that is being integrated now during Max of last year in November. So this is part of the new release of Photoshop 2020. And I don't know if you guys remember, but we talked about Capture before. Now Capture is integrated into Photoshop. All you have to do is go into your library panel, and here where you can see this big plus button that allows you to create new content, and making sure that you have your layer selected, you can see that there is create from an image and the little capture icon here. So yes, capture is actually integrated into Photoshop. And all I have to do is to click on create from image, and we are gonna have capture workspace without leaving Photoshop. Isn't that amazing? Come on, chat. I wanna see some comments and some wow, because I was wowed about this integration. And be ready to get more wowed, because what you can do here is pretty amazing. By clicking into color themes, you're gonna have a color picker that allows you to navigate within the layer. And I'm just gonna move it into one of the color set. I like this little cool version. It matches the work that we've done yesterday. So all I'm doing here is, as you can see, clicking and dragging around these color pickers. And here, I'm already selecting the swatches. And with one click, we can save it to our CC library. So as you can see here, I've added already a swatch. If I want to change it, I can just add another one, for example, with a different color variation, and I'm gonna add an orange. And I'm gonna click onto Save to CC Library, and here it is. It's automatically added to your library. We can now close this window. And of course, it's available to use throughout the ecosystem on your cloud. So you can use it in Illustrator. And by the way, later on at 12 p.m., I'm gonna be working with you guys on logo design, and we're gonna be using this tool again. So we're gonna see how the flexibility of the libraries and this amazing integration. So for now, I've got my color palette, and I can delete this layer. We don't need it anymore. Yes. And let's start by applying a gradient using these amazing swatches. If you can open your swatch panel here, you'll see that if I click in any of these colors, those are live swatches that get added to our library. So what I'm gonna do now, go into my adjustment layer and create a gradient, and double click on the gradient fill, and I'm gonna edit. First of all, as you can see here, is transparent because we see the little mesh, and I'm gonna click on the top square in order to bring the opacity back to 100%. Here it is, but then I wanna edit the color because, as I said, I do want a gradient there. So I'm gonna double click and go into my swatches here. Let me open the swatch panel, because I want to be using some of the color that we brought from our, where it is, here, oh, probably is behind my gradient. Let me see. I've lost my swatch panel. Let me find it before moving forward, because I really wanted to use my swatches. So if sometimes you don't find your panel, like it just happened to me, all you have to do is go into your workspace and make sure that you reset your workspace and everything comes back to normal. So here it is. I didn't waste any second to look around, but I just had it right there. So I'm gonna bring it out and then again, double click in my gradient and double click in the gradient fill. And I'm gonna click on this little square in order to change the color. And I'm gonna set this other color from our mood board. Isn't that amazing? Yes, Andreas, is so cool. And all we have to do is press OK and OK again in order to commit the changes. But now let's go back into the libraries. Hopefully you have already downloaded the starter file. And all you have to do in order to integrate it into your libraries is to create a new library here. Of course, I've created one already, but just to show you how you can import images is super easy. Once you create your library, all you have to do, and I'm gonna import yesterday challenge, all you have to do is to click in from your folder and drag into your library. And boom, the image is there. Isn't that amazing? Mia, you're going to use this so much. Trust me, I use it every day that I'm in Photoshop. It's super useful. For those of you who haven't, perhaps they're joined today, so you weren't yesterday with us, I'm gonna share with you my challenge number 1 output, so you can work with us. And I'm gonna put it on Discord. So I'm here, Discord current challenge, and I'm gonna press OK, and I'm gonna write Claudia, challenge 1, feel free to use. And I'm gonna upload it. So make sure that you hit that current challenge channel into Discord in order to use my photo. But let's jump back into Photoshop to get to our king tool of today, which is the object selection. So within the files that you have received, there is one with pyramids. All I'm gonna do is to click and drag it into our canvas and click return to have the image there. And then I'm gonna introduce you guys to this fella. If you've not met it before, object selection tool. It's super amazing. Be ready to be wowed again. So now make sure that you are into your layer that you want to select. And all you have to do is to click into the object selection tool and click and drag onto the image, and boom, it creates a selection by itself. Isn't that amazing? Just one click, drag over the image, and the selection is done. So all I have to do now, sorry, I have this pop-up window that happened there, it's just the internet, let's not worry about it. So once the selection is created, all we're gonna do is to have a little mask here, you know, our friend mask. And once we have the selection made, thanks to the object selection and our layer selected, we're gonna go ahead and click on the mask and it's done. Isn't that amazing? That's a huge, huge time saver. So what I'm gonna do now is also colorize these pyramids, I guess. And in order to do so, all we have to do is to go into our adjustment layer and add a solid color. And this color is fine, you know that is already part of our palette. And I'm gonna press OK, then click Option in between the two layers. As you can see, we have a down pointing arrow between the two layers in order to create a clipping mask. By create a clipping mask, we're gonna apply the effect only to the layer below the adjustment. And I'm gonna use color. Color uses the hue and the saturation and doesn't play up with the luminance. So we can have the same luminance of the image below, but we're actually colorizing it. Now let's jump into another item here. I'm gonna grab the clouds and drag it in to our space. So the whole idea is to have this dreamland, so this Egyptian land suspended on a cloud. Now, in order to have this cloud, I'm gonna press return in order to commit to my layer. I'm gonna use screen in this case. So as you can see, all these blending modes are blocked into different areas here. And the first one is darken, so it's gonna deal with the darker pixel, and we're gonna just see the darker pixel. And the second one is light. So therefore it's gonna hide the darker pixel and we'll only see the light pixel here. So I think screen is nice. I'm gonna commit to this. Although I have a little bit of too much transparency going on. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to click on my cloud layer, press on Command J to duplicate it, and then I'm gonna go back into normal, use my amazing object selection tool and drag it into my image to create a selection, and boom, in one click is done. Isn't that a huge time saver? I'm really giving you amazing tips today, guys. Those are super workful time saver tips. So make sure to let your friends know as well. Don't be greedy with these amazing tools. The beauty of sharing and learning is that we can work faster together. And once we created our amazing selection, we're gonna go ahead and mask it. And I'm gonna go ahead, I kind of like the fluffiness of the screen. So all I have to do here is work with our mask, press B to trigger the brush, and remember, with black we conceal pixel, with white we reveal. So if we wanna let the other effect of the screen cloud, which is just below here, come through, all I have to do is to use my brush in order to paint on my mask. As you can see here, we are on our mask layer. And I'm gonna paint around the edges in order to get rid of that solid, harsh contour and introduce a little bit of the layer below, which brings all this nice fluffiness to our cloud and gets rid of the darker details, just like so. Now I'm gonna add more elements, something also super cool. I don't know if you guys came across this tool before, but we can render elements and different elements into Photoshop. I've brought within the file some palm trees that you can go ahead and mask and repeat what we've done with the pyramids already. But I wanna show you something different in order to bring more elements to your composite. And we're gonna go into filter and render. And once we click into, we need to create a layer first. So we are here on the cloud. We do not want to affect the layer. So let's go here and click on the plus button in order to create a new layer on top. And now let's go back into our filter and render. And as you can see, all the options are now open. And I'm gonna select 3. And here we go. We have a full rendered tree. And what is most amazing, you can change the lighting. As you can see, is moving the light source around. The leaves amount, so that allows you to have different elements. But let's go ahead and bring one in. So all you have to do is to press OK. And Photoshop will render an amazing palm tree with zero effort, if not just picking your option here. I'm gonna press Command T to transform and drag down a corner of your bounding box in order to transform it and scale it down perhaps. And I'm gonna place it here from now. And then I'm gonna create another layer and I'm gonna go back into filter, render, 3. And I'm gonna create at this point another tree. I'm gonna use less leaves so we can see the difference here. Of course, we don't only have palm tree, we have oak, ginkgo, maple. You can find all the trees that you want in here. Let me know if you guys have used that before. Yes, Jennifer, time savers are the best. I absolutely love Photoshop, and this new 2020 release is mind-blowing because of this amazing tool. Michelle, I discovered that just a few days ago as well. I haven't used it before. I spent so much time trying to clean my palm tree mask, and I let you imagine with all these little leaves, it took ages. But like that, we already have a beautiful rendered palm tree. And isn't that amazing that we can also choose different options? So that give us the flexibility of have a design that doesn't look just copy and paste with the same elements. So I'm glad that you guys have been discovering this. And as you can see, there are so many options to use, so many different trees. I'm gonna stick to my palm trees. Again, probably use even less leaves just to give it a little bit of a different look. And press OK. Command T to transform. And I'm gonna just place it here into our Dreamland cloud. And then I'm gonna go ahead and bring our challenge 1 oops, here it is, into the picture here and click return. And here I'm going to use a different tool. If you go into properties with your layer selected and we rasterize this layer by pressing Control and click on the layer, and here we go, rasterize layer. In the properties, we have a quick action, and that allows us to remove the background in one click. So here it is. It did a very pretty good job. We just have to get rid of some of those, but I created a mask. So again, brush tool, and with black, we go ahead and hide this detail that we don't want. And I'm gonna go ahead and position that behind my clouds and maybe not into the pyramids. Look what happened here. So what happened is created a clipping mask. All I have to do is to click into option to make sure that it's unclipped. And then we're gonna bring it even lower down here behind the pyramids. Sorry guys, I have my Italian pronunciation coming through here. And place it so it looks like a nice background and hit return. Now that we have an idea of the positioning, all we have to do is to click into the mask and with the brush kind of come through and delete the area that we don't want to use. Now you can see our dreamland is coming together. And what I'm gonna do here is show you my final version. As you can see in the libraries, I've added a jaguar, a cloud, and different other elements like the stars. Let me go ahead and show you what my final dream paradise is. I think this is the right file. No, but we can open it from our folders. Challenge number 2. I just want to give you an idea of, what you can get with a final, nice and retouched image. So make sure that you spend time to fine tune it. You have all the elements in your starter file, so you'll be able to use those. But of course, if in your dream and if your dreamland looks different than mine, feel free to bring your own elements. Make sure that you use the object selection tool to save time. Make sure that you stick to your color palette. Again, it doesn't have to be like mine. I just give you this for guidance. Of course, I'm gonna share this file with you for inspiration. And yeah, it took like 5 minutes. We learned so much. Those are one-click time savers. Now, before I say goodbye to you, I wanna bring you back into Discord. Again, feel free to share the image here. I'm gonna share my final here. And let's make sure that you guys give me a shout if there is any question of, you can always review the video by going on our behance.net/live. You can find the starter file here under the challenge number 2. And remember, any question on Discord get answered by me or any other mentor that is there, or you guys can help each other as well. And remember, don't be afraid to share. This is a safe space. We're all learning. I'm learning, and it's great to have feedback from other fellow designers. So I look forward to see what you guys create into our Discord current challenge. And I don't know if we have time here for having the schedule for today. There's gonna be amazing streams coming after me. Yes, we do. So we have, of course, the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge just done right now. And then you guys are gonna follow up with more photo retouching with Page Thingy, and then XD Daily Creative Challenge. And then I'm back again with some logo design. So make sure to stay tuned on Adobe Live. We're gonna have so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me again. It's always amazing to see you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time, here on Adobe Live, behance.net/live. Bye guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow.